What a week. Wait, what should we pretend like we all just got back from like a rodeo? Wait, watching a rodeo or starring in a rodeo?
Yeah, we already know I was starring in the rodeo. Sugar.
Guys, the four of us, this is Ryan. Taylor's here.
Well, yeehaw, butter my
Greg-
biscuit and call me Susie.
Greg, what's your roguelike phrase?
Hi, I'm Greg. I'm a ne'er-do-well.
Classic. Nate, you go. Oh, wow.
A little bit of horse representation.
Don't even look up rodeo stats on rodeostats.com. Just know clearly by those four voices, we won the shit out of a recent. Are there winners and losers in the rodeo?
There's,
I know the
there's
animals
point
are losers.
totals.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's champions and stuff. You get generally the person with the biggest belt buckle is the winner.
Yeah.
It's like,
Your pants should be 90% belt buckle.
like a WWE person.
Yeah, for sure.
Anybody less than 8 seconds, I think, loses.
Yeah.
Although some people who make it to 8 seconds die, from my popular cinema understanding. So I don't know.
Is that a Luke Perry is dead 30
It
years
sure
after
is.
he filmed the
It
movie
sure
8 Seconds
is.
reference?
Getting the audience on our side right away.
Clearly, as you know by now, that not only are these four of the biggest rodeo stars in podcasting history, but this is obviously part 2 of the 1984 mixtape. Gentlemen, we were together not but 1 week ago, where we ate not but hot coals and drank not but hot cola, and we have 8 fucking bangarangas, including Bananarama, on this list. Greg,
Yes.
can you read them down for me?
Yes. Starting off, and this will always be our number 1 track, locked in its position as our intro, is Prince's When Doves Cry. Perhaps one of the best songs of all time, so not a bad intro. Going directly into Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA. Then the song is, I think it's actually called, is it called Ghostbusters or is it literally called Bustin' Makes Me Feel Good? Either way, that is what we've got coming in at number 3. Then Weird Al's Eat It, Michael Jackson's Thriller, Echo and the Bunnymen's The Killing Moon, then Bananarama's Cruel Summer, and then Wham's Wake Me Up.
I mean, should we stop here? Is this
Strong.
perfection?
Well, it would ruin this entire episode if we were to stop here, Ryan.
I mean, we could talk more about our rodeo past.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
I think
true.
that's got legs, fellas.
Yeah. I think if nothing else, we got to pick one more song because ending the album on "Wake Me Up" is a little weird.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be "Put Me to Bed"?
How about
And
the Evanescence song "Wake Me Up"?
Yeah. Well, I mean, any Evanescence song would be great. And we did promise Nate the closer. So why don't we, Nate's the Kira tonight, so why don't we just keep doing the show like we always do? I'm not even going to go to a break. I'm going to go right to Taylor, who's going to give us
All
our
right.
9th song and tell us where it is.
All right, fellas. I think that there's a very good place to put this song. And I think I'm going to go right in between Bananarama and Wham and sort of continue. I think that there's a little bit of still acceleration room here. So what I'm going to put there is a little song by Lionel Richie called All Night Long, which you may or may not know from the Budweiser Lime-A-Rita commercials.
There's this type of person who like knows every movie that they saw in every movie theater and who they saw it with. Taylor's knowledge of where he heard all these songs is on that level.
That it is honestly sort of a curse that I have. I sometimes like if I heard a song in a place that was not the radio, I know where it came from and I think about it
And
all the time.
Every time that happens, a fact about philosophy literally is scooted out of Taylor's brain to make room for that.
It just gets absolutely jettisoned. I become dumber day by day. And
Yes.
yet, I know so many facts about young Sheldon and every song that appears in it.
And upside, you don't remember what angst means anymore, and Heidegger can rot in hell. That's fine.
Hey, buddy, you're just saying words to me at this point, my man.
I mean, just watching you learn how to rodeo was you putting Descartes before the horse.
I did catch that you said something about Gravedigger, though, and I loved that. Go,
Hell
Gravedigger.
yeah, brother.
The Undertaker of monster trucks.
Let me ask you this, Taylor. What time is it right now? Because Lionel Richie just came on, and you know that Wham is next. So, like, is this 11 p.m.?
Oh yeah.
Where are we
yes.
at the club?
I think this is like 11:30. I think they're about to close down in like 30 minutes because they are like, like when you have a pet and you know that you need to like tire them out before bedtime, otherwise they're going to keep you up. That's what they're doing at this club right now. They're like, if we don't tucker these people out, they're gonna have a riot when it's time to close.
Greatest contribution to society by Lionel. Is it All Night Long or Nicole Richie?
Oh, you know what? That's a close one, guys. I'm gonna have to throw my hands up.
Tie. All right, so we're just gonna say tie.
Tie.
Excellent work. Lionel Richie is on the mountain. Greg, you are up. Where are we going? Okay. And we have definite chunks now. So we have neighborhoods that you can discuss.
It's getting chunky here. Okay. I have a song I definitely am very excited to use, and I'm just trying to pick the exact place for it. And I think it's going to go... I feel like I don't know how you go from Cruel Summer to All Night Long, and I think I'm getting us there, but I don't think this is actually going to fix the problem, so I think we're still going to need to work a little bit. But I am thinking maybe we're going to have a little bit of a slowdown period, and it's going to start with Sade's Smooth Operator.
Wow.
Ooh.
This is a song that as a kid I did not like at all because my dad listens to it when he got home from work like every single day. But now that I'm old and I need things to sort of be slow and to be familiar, this song as like a relaxing, like ambient, like just something you put on not to dominate what you're doing, but to like accentuate what you're doing. This is an adult song, and it's like, I just think it's very, very musically comforting. It's like jacuzzi music or something like that, which I'm making it sound like it's not in its own right a good song, and it totally is, but like I just have had an evolving relationship with it.
It harkens back to a time when you could pick up your touch-tone Garfield phone and hit 0 and speak to the operator and hear their smooth voice.
Is that what she's talking about in the song?
It is now, of course, popularized in F1 as Carlos Sainz, whenever he wins, sings the song Smooth Operator because that's sort of his nickname. And so it still has cultural relevance even now.
So I'm gonna try to explain why I hate this song, and I know that I'm just gonna sound like a sexless freak, but this Sade, I think, over the last couple of years, her stock is going crazy,
straight up, right?
Like she is like the Dolly Parton of our generation. Just like everyone was like, you know what, we all love Sade now. I get it, but for me, there's this thing where like music is best when loud, and only turn it up, not down. And this song cannot be loud.
You literally cannot make this song loud.
Right. Like no matter how high you turn it up, it's always just
and that's why I hated it as a kid, and that's why I love it now.
Well, I think you grew up and I didn't, Greg.
Here's what's happened. I have an undiagnosed anxiety disorder, and so a lot of times music is too much for me, and I get like bent out of shape, and I can't calm down when I'm listening to it. But when you put on Smooth Operator, it calms you down, and you can just listen to the music, and you're not agitated by it. And it accompanies what you're doing. It doesn't dominate what you're doing.
This song makes it feel good to be on your tiptoes. Do you know what I mean about that? Anyone else?
Because it feels like you're going up a very short distance in an elevator?
I don't know. It's just like if it makes it feel good to be light on your feet, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're doing a little prance on your tiptoes, and you're not making a lot of noise because the song's not making a lot of noise, but you're both still moving together, you know?
I mean, it is a total match of like form and function. Like it's a song for smooth operation.
Yeah. If I were a smooth operator, I would want to be constantly listening to this song. And I don't know what I would be as a smooth operator if I wasn't, you know?
Imagine if Michael Fassbender in The Killer switched from the Smiths to Sade. How much better would he have been at his job?
Oh, hell yeah.
This song, another problem with this song, too, is that, and this like goes back to what we talked about last week when we were talking about our parents picking us up and listening to these songs on this mixtape, is that I just remember being driven home trying to have a conversation with my brother and or my best friend, and Sade is just always in the background, never loud, never quiet, and inappropriately singing about how she's getting probably railed on some balcony. I don't know what the song is about, while I'm trying to talk to my good friend Justin about which G.I. Joes we will be using today. Like, this seems not right. Sade. All right. I'm glad she's here, though. And she is in between Bananarama and Lionel Richie.
They're a British band, so I think they might say Bananarama.
Bananarama.
I'm up now, and before I go, I want some advice, because we are collabing on this. Do we think that the problem is solved? Do we think we have gone from Echo and the Bunnymen to Wham successfully? Or does this still need more hose work?
Cruel Summer and Smooth Operator, at first I didn't think that was a good, but they kind of have they're different like rhythms or whatever, but they have a similar sound, like a similar
Yeah,
cadence.
they almost have a key. They're sharing a key in a way.
Yeah. They have almost like a vocal cousinship that's going on.
Whenever it comes time to say stuff about music, I'm always like, man, it would be good to know something about music, because then I could use that for what I'm saying.
That's the kind of shit you say off air, Greg. Jesus Christ. These podcast amateurs. All right, I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to go in between Lionel Richie and Wham. And I'm going to pick a song by Goldfinger that Nina heard on the radio when they were driving around town and said, oh, we should play this song. It is called 99 Love Balloons, and it is, once again, I don't know if this is the theme of 84, about awful shit that sounds bouncy and patriotic, so let's all dance to it.
Oh yeah, cool. 99 balloons. All right.
Yeah, what if Sky War and Terror was charming and you could dance to it?
It's funny because in 1984 we were sure that we had not escaped nuclear annihilation. In fact, there was that made-for-TV movie Threads that was all about that. By the time we grew up, we were like, oh no, we did it. We escaped. And now we're back to being like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know.
We might not have made it out of this one. It's sort of a maybe end of Nightmare on Elm Street ending for that one.
Yeah. Yes, very much.
1984 movie. How were we with Germany at this point? Were we cool? Listen to a song with German in it?
Well, you know, they
West
were,
Germany we were good with, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how we were with East Germany at the time.
We were about ready to bring them back on together. There's not much longer. They're gonna be on like a split
there was still a big old wall there, but
yeah.
That's when Reagan said, Gorbachev, tear down that well?
Well,
he popped some jelly beans and mumbled, and somebody did a VO.
Berliner.
Well, yeah, I thought Nina is just a fun thing to dance to, and obviously I wish the Goldfinger song could be here, but it cannot be. So we'll deal with that one.
And where did you put that again, Ryan?
Between Lionel Richie and Wham. Because now I think we're starting to dance, and I'm not saying that Wham is the closer, but it should, now we're starting to, now 99 red balloons fell from the sky at our 84 club. Wham is about to go on. I did do the fucking classic Taylor put myself back-to-back songs, but I just love my music.
Hey, when it works, it works.
All right. Nate Dogg, you are up.
I'm going to let's go back up to the top of the list here. I want to get between the boss and the other boss, Ray Parker Jr. His nickname commonly known as the other boss.
Boss Jr.
Boss Jr. I think there's a real absence. I mean, granted, we just got Nina on there, we got Sade on there, but there's an absence of a very important 1984 lady on this list right now.
Yes.
So I want to put in a song that really connects to Born in the USA in the way that it's scathing American culture. By Madonna, I'm going to go with Material Girl.
Probably, if we're going to do this right now, like a side podcast real quick, top 5 uses of triangle in pop music, Material Girl has to be number 1.
Oh, yeah. I think it's heavily up there.
And yeah, just like the perfect 1984 song. What I did not realize was a clever play on words as a kid, which is the idea of the material world versus the spiritual world. But then also the materialism of 1984. That's pretty good, Madonna. I like it.
And I mean, if you're as old as me, there's almost like a Simpsons moment here where when I saw my first Marilyn Monroe movie, I was like, oh, you're doing Madonna. I saw this before anything else.
And also very perfect for fans of Final Fantasy VII. Aerith could sing the song "I Am a Materia Girl," so it still has legs even today.
I mean,
Yeah.
Greg,
There's
got those legs.
a lot that you can do with this one.
Yeah.
All of them equally valid.
As much as I love Prince and the boss and the other boss, this would have been, I think, the most gaping hole, no pun intended, if we left her out. Like she is the year, right? Like
Yeah. We needed a Madonna on here, so I'm glad that she is represented. We can dust ourselves off, pat ourselves on the back. I think, there's still some to play for, but I think if we went home right now, that's a good day's work.
Again,
I think the important thing is for white male podcasters, we have let a woman on the list, a very prominent woman on the list, and we've done our duty.
that's not the first.
growing up
No.
Okay.
growing up in like the mid to late 1980s and then beyond, as I also didn't get the pun on Material Girl and how clever that was. Imagine the absolute chutzpah to name yourself Madonna.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yes.
when you grow up with it, you hear that before you know of the other meaning of Madonna. But
Yeah.
then retroactively looking at it, it's like, wow, that is a strong choice.
She's from like a very Catholic part of the country, being
yeah.
New Jersey, and then it's like, I'm going to go with the Virgin Mary.
Well, think about the person who sang that "Will Never Be Royal" song.
Lord.
Our Lord and Savior?
Our Lord and Savior, Lord. All right, Nate, you have put Madonna on. She is there for posterity's sake. When we come back, Taylor will do his last song. Taylor, you are the first to give the intro song, the only really, but that also means that you're the first to give your last song. This is it. You have to cancel the 57 other options you have right now. What are you looking at? Where's your head at?
My head is sort of all over the place. I assume that there will be maybe some time at the end where we do some honorable mentions.
Oh, I probably a third episode after this. Yeah.
Yeah. So longtime listeners will know I have a couple of standing, my guys who I have to have anytime they're available.
Joe Namath.
And I'm not putting any of them on this list because that's how fucking good this year is.
Shit,
I'm
you are
not even
trying. This is the most I've ever seen you try to be a podcaster on a podcast.
That's growth, and I'm gonna ruin it in so soon, but not right now because right now I'm gonna put something right after Wham. And I don't know yet where Nate is trying to land the plane with the end, but I think that this will give us a couple of different directions to go in potentially. I'm gonna put a song by a little band called Aha.
Ah,
Yes.
shit.
Take on Me. I'm honestly kind of surprised that it made it this long without being
Yes.
on the list. I don't know another song that they have, but boy, oh boy, did they. You don't need another one.
And perfect music video.
Perfect music
A
video.
time where, and this is a time where music videos, they just start to actually be something more than just a bunch of people awkwardly standing in a room pretending to sing the song.
Uh-huh.
They're
Yeah.
sort of animation to real world, and then it's just it's exciting.
This is the era at which it makes sense for me to look back and go, what the fuck were you doing? Were you even doing music videos for before this?
Yeah.
What was the goal?
There's one of those giant fat oral histories like there is for SNL or HBO for the first week of MTV or all of MTV, but the first week is a lot. And the vast majority of the videos was Elvis Costello and all the attractions just standing there being like, what are we supposed to do? And that was the video.
We hate this.
And then for them to jump from that to this to Aha is bigger than the jump from Edison to George Méliès, A Trip to the Moon. It's a crazy artistic jump.
And just we have gone, I think we've gone a little on the timeless side for this, and as because of that, we're not getting the filthy synth that we needed to out of all the songs, and this song is just so synth forward and so perfect in that way.
But I wonder if this thing that I've been talking about, that 80s feel, which this definitely has, is a little more 85, 86, 87, where everybody just sounded like Depeche Mode.
Yeah, I think that comes in. I think you're getting it at this point. I think it becomes the only thing you can hear, and people start getting like. I think by 87, people are tired of it. But I think like 85, 86 is when it hits its like peak.
According to the rules of this podcast, Ryan, 84 is like kind of, we generally think of it as like the first actual year of the decade.
So this kickstarts what they will do for the next 10 years into the 90s.
And that tracks, I think, right, with what Taylor was just saying?
Right. I will say that in a former life when I was in a cover band, I was also a high school teacher of kids that were much younger than us, born in the 2010s, let's say. And this is the song when it came on. Not only were they like, holy shit, what is this? I love it. But they knew every word. Like,
wow.
I've never seen a song more timeless than this because there wasn't like, oh, my dad or my granddad listened to this. It was just like, no, this is one of my favorite songs. And it was Take On Me by Aha.
I would love a...
Guys want some cookies?
I would love a supercut of all the times I ask my students if they're aware of something, and all the times they say no. Like, you guys heard of Aliens, right? No. You like that with the movie, you know? Have you guys heard of Alien? No. Okay. Have you guys heard of Terminator? No. Have you heard of The Matrix? No. Like, they're just trying to touch base with them, and all they've heard of is TikTok.
SpongeBob. It's just SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing that you can
SpongeBob,
reference.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid, both the book and the movie Holes, but I'm not going to in the classroom say that word.
Book.
Yeah, you got to draw a line somewhere for yourself.
Greg, you are up. This is your last song. Taylor wowed us. Taylor made us stand up and say, aha, what a good pick.
Yeah, that was a really good pick. And now, like, I only have this one last one, and so I want to make sure I do it for Greg. There's a couple of ones that I think are bigger, but that I don't feel the same way about them. So I'm going to... where am I gonna put this low? I don't even know. I'm gonna put it in between 11 and 12. So after 99 Luftballons, a little band known for a lot of songs actually, but one in particular, a band called Frankie Goes to Hollywood. And I know which one is he gonna choose? Which one is he gonna choose? Well, you know what I say to that? Relax. A song that, once again, in the same way the line "Busted makes me feel good," the song is very much about not getting so worked up you come too quickly, and it really took a long time before people were like, "Wait a minute!" When
it took me decades of listening to the song, being like, "Love that song," and it's like. It's not even subtle. It says, "When you want to come."
When you want to come. Relax. Don't do it.
This song was banned in the UK.
Yeah.
They would not play it on the radio in the UK for like 4 years, I think, because of that.
I mean, the slang, like, to come as an orgasm is like hundreds of years old. It's not like made up by this song or anything.
I mean, what's even crazier, and it's not a big deal at all, is that I'm learning all of this right now.
Oh, that's why you have kids.
It's every now and then, like, you re-listen to a song, and you're like, how was that allowed to play on the radio? And this is one of those.
This is like the strong dichotomy of 1984, because although Busted makes me feel good, you gotta relax and not do it. You know, you gotta make sure everybody is done with the experience before you allow Bustin' to make you feel good.
Guys, I gotta say, this year Beyonce said, "Don't be a bitch, just get on the dance floor," and this mixtape is making me want to do that. We would fucking own the dance floor with this song, right?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I was thinking about this recently. I'm sure this is true of like any Beyonce albums, but the last two Beyonce albums, you cannot just like quietly sit there and listen to them.
No.
Like, there's no like being still while listening to that music.
I mean, Renaissance was made to like make DJs non-existent. Like, we don't need you anymore.
You put on that album, and within 2 minutes, you were just like covered in sweat.
All right, I'm gonna go after Aha. Now, Nate has to close, and this might be too much of a drop from Aha to this, but I'm gonna try it, and we'll see what happens. This is not a well-liked song by people.
Strong start.
Yeah.
Great. I'm excited.
But we are who we are, and Taylor, by being so Let's Make the Mixtape Good has inspired me to ruin it with my Ryanness.
I've never been more proud.
You guys can't hear this, but what I'm listening to is Let's Dance in Style. Let's dance for a while. Heaven can wait. We're only watching the moon turn a lot. It's Forever Young by Alphaville.
Hell yeah.
And
Honestly,
now, all of a sudden, there are
great.
disco balls in this room, and somebody wants to dance with me, like, really hard. I want to go to a punch bowl over there. This is what it's all about, guys.
Definitely
This is what
like
it's all about.
this song definitely played at 1984 prom. Not every song on this list did, but this song definitely did.
Yes. This song got played maybe more than one time.
Bad news, children of 1984. Guess what turned out not to actually be true? You're old as fuck.
Forever Old, though. That's
Yes.
a song.
Yes.
Called
It's
Magic.
the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
We all went to that beach. We got to stop going to that beach. I'm going to write it on a Post-it note. I'm putting it right on the door. Don't go to the old beach.
All right. Nate, you are up. Glory Days is gone,
Glory Days is gone.
both in your
Yeah.
life and on the mixtape.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Long gone at this
Closing
point.
Time didn't come out yet for a few
Nope.
years. Yeah.
No. But we, when you get through a long playlist, a long evening, you're having a great time.
Granola
The inevitable
bar.
question when you're being a responsible drinker, you're not driving yourself. So the question you have to ask is, who's going to drive you home? And so we're going to go with the Cars and a little song titled Drive. Now, I like Amy Mann's cover of this an awful lot, too, which if you haven't heard it, it slaps. It's amazing. Amy Mann does a beautiful version, but this is one of the best songs ever. It's so somber, but it's so, like, I don't know. It's just it's existential, and I think it's a great way to exit on this. Right? We're gonna enter on doves crying. We're gonna exit on the question of like who's literally gonna be able to take you home.
And
It's
Nate,
absolutely perfect.
would you agree that Amy Mann is an incredible musician but a terrible superhero?
Bitten by
Yes.
a radioactive Amy. He got all the powers of Amy, including punctuality.
And an extra E for some reason.
Penmanship.
Yeah, this is such a good choice. It was on my list and didn't quite make the cut, and I was worried that it wouldn't make it on, and I'm so glad that it did.
Also, if you're gonna call your band Cars, what do
Drive.
Cars
you
do?
should drive, right?
Yeah,
Cars drive.
Yeah.
Everybody.
And
a
the
perfect
podcast-
choice.
This podcast loves cars.
That's so true.
We
And
talked about
Cars
that.
too.
No. The automobiles, not the film franchise.
Oh,
Let's
sorry.
make that clear.
What,
What about-
Lightning McQueen
what about-
Ka-chow?
What about tweets about the film franchise as enjoyed by Alaskan gentlemen and their large Tupperwares of beans?
No, if you're going to spill some beans, then by all means, talk about it. Guys, I do want to reflect back on this mixtape because I do think it's wonderful. What I'm worried about is that as club DJs or wedding DJs, that we have so much build up and come down, and there is no in between. We have no act two here, but that's sort of who we are as dramatists, I will say. Let's start with Taylor, Greg, Ryan, then Nate. We're going to read this track list. Let's go.
All right, first up is Prince, When Doves Cry.
Second is Bruce Springsteen, Born in the U.S. of A.
Madonna's Material Girl.
Ray Parker Jr., the Ghostbusters theme / Bustin' makes me feel good.
Weird Al's Eat It.
Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Echo and the Bunnymen's The Killing Moon.
Bananarama with Cruel Summer.
Sade with Smooth Operator.
Lionel Richie, All Night Long.
Nina's 99 Luft Balloons.
Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Relax. Don't do it.
Wham! Wake me up before you go.
Aha, Take Me On. Or Take On Me. Sorry.
Oh.
Crap. Take On Me.
Franz
Jesus,
Ferdinand
take me
over
on.
here. Alphaville's Forever Young.
And the Cars Drive.
Who is going to drive you home? I'm going to start with me with the H&Ms because I don't have that many. I think that the one... first of all, let me say, incredible playlist. Incredible mixtape. We did it.
Yes.
But there
Yeah.
is no Cindy. And I think that is
Yes.
the
Yes.
one biggest
Yeah.
problem here. I would have picked Time After Time. She-Bop
Samesies.
is a bop, but Time After Time somewhere in the end. But again, we're still not like... There's no act 2 of dancing. Like, we're really good at the wind down. Like, we're really good at the Romeo and Michelle need a little montage part of everything.
Yeah, if we wanted to go prom, then Time After Time would have been the perfect companion piece to Forever Young. If we wanted to go keep on like the weird sexually subversive one, that She-Bop's all about masturbation, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that would have been fun. Another one that people were like, we love this. And then they're like, you know what it's about? And they're like, we hate this.
People hate
She
when they
shouldn't
find
be
out about this.
bopping.
No, nobody should be bopping. We should all just be frustrated all day long.
Nate, what are we missing from here?
Kenny Loggins put out a really phenomenal song on a very important movie soundtrack, Footloose, missing
He
from
sure
this
did.
list. And that would have kept us dancing, for sure.
Do you guys think that one day soon they will outlaw dancing again? Like, is that a federal law coming up?
Honestly, dude,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
this movie used to seem a lot more ridiculous than it does now. I mean, somewhere in the South, probably in the next couple of years, dancing is going to be outlawed.
Crazy. Because dancing leads to pregnancy. Greg, what did we miss?
Okay, I have two, right? Or I'm gonna focus on one. We wouldn't get a ton of chances to do the Eurythmics, but they're like a really dope band. And I think I would have gone with Here Comes the Rain. But like there are maybe better years for the Eurythmics, but there's not a bunch of them, you know. And so it's a shame that we missed an opportunity to feature them.
Do you know how I know they're very important? And it's not because like watching them on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. It's how often they're sampled in rap. Like they are a very important
yes.
band. You said Taylor has a billion, Greg. So you said you had two. What's your other one?
Oh, my other one, I've just never loved this song, but it's certainly very emblematic of the time, and Culture Club's a important band as well.
Yeah.
But Karma Chameleon, I just, I don't have anything against it. I just think I've heard it too much. But, I love Boy George, and I feel like everything that Boy George is, the world wants to reject, but Boy George is so lovable that that's never really been possible for anybody. And so it would have been nice to give a shout out to Culture Club.
Yeah, it was so interesting growing up, watching adults be like, Boy George is I don't know, man, I just like his music, or their music or whatever. But like
The famous commando line, why don't they just call him Girl George? And the daughter's just like, very clever, Dad.
Taylor, all right, let's run him down.
I don't actually have. I won't go through that many because I think we've named a lot of like the big ones from other lists. But I think the ones that specifically are, I think, very me that ended up not getting on this. I didn't put any REM on this list.
Yeah.
Wow,
they
it
had-
feels bad.
Yeah,
Is
it
this-
feels bad. They're fantastic sophomore album with several options.
Is
Did
this
put on
Murmur?
there. No, this would be Reckoning. It came out
And no
So,
U2 either.
No U2's on here.
I don't know what those
and
two bands
also-
have to do with each other, but no REM or U2.
Who could say? And also, I didn't dig into my well and put any Laura Branigan on here, who I love dearly. Self Control is a great song. I think it would have fit well here, but
Hold on, is Laura
There were better
Branigan Gloria?
yes, yeah, yeah, singer of Gloria, famously from I, Tonya, perhaps. But yes, I love Laura Branigan, and I think she's a fantastic singer and songwriter. And she's not represented on here, and that's fine because we couldn't bring all of our people home.
It's a collab.
It's true. There was one more that I also had, Once in a Lifetime by Talking Heads.
Ooh.
Great song.
yes.
Talking Heads, very important at this time. Would have been great.
We're doing a whole show about
Yeah.
Stop making sense.
Yeah. Well, there goes that product placement opportunity.
But do check out our Stop Making Sense show.
God, it's such a good fucking movie.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for doing this. I think that we have perfected 1984, despite all of those honorable mentions. If you want this mixtape, please go to Spotify, search for Pop Filter, and you will find it, and you can play it, and give us ratings. And I don't know, is there?
You can subscribe to our podcast and rate us. Yeah.
Do all those things that you should do. Nate, what should they do about your podcast?
Oh, you can listen to me on a show called Debut Buddies. We are a fortnightly podcast about firsts, where we talk about things like the first human head transplant or the first professional wrestling match, among other things. So you can check us out anywhere you get podcasts.
Or the other day you were talking about how you did Police Academy 2, the first Police Academy sequel.
Yeah, we do several sequels as the first sequel to something. It's a good loophole.
If there's 9 sequels to a movie, I think that makes a lot of sense.
But
yeah,
the most recent episode that I saw was it was Mamma Mia. Laura Branigan.
Yes.
Here we go again.
I'm sorry, and it was Nate's first time watching that movie.
That was my first viewing of Mamma Mia.
So
all these things work.
Debut means debut to Nate in this one instance. And Taylor, where can we find you?
I'm sort of on the internet still, and that's becoming less and less day by day. So I'm just you'll find me. I'll be
jogging
around
out there
in
on the
corner.
streets a lot.
Yeah, that's mostly it.
Taylor's new breakfast restaurant called Off the Griddle, but Off the Grid are the only letters that are capitalized. That's where you should go. Until then, guys, thank you so much for listening. That's our 84 mixtape. When we come back next week, we're going to be talking about some movie. I bet. Fucking almost guarantee it. And until then, keep watching any movie you can. Bye, y'all.